Hey y'all, this is Marley K. Hope everybody is doing well. Got a story that I want to bring with you. There are conflicting reports. Particular story on the Pope. Some people say that he is not in critical condition. Um, so I don't really know what's the deal. All I know is he went and opened up them portals, and now look at him. Anywho, this story came from Fox 8 Live in out of New Orleans, Louisiana. And it says Pope Francis is in critical condition after a long respiratory crisis requiring oxygen at high flow. So it says Pope Francis was in critical condition Saturday after he suffered a prolonged asthmatic respiratory crisis while being treated for pneumonia and a complex lung infection, the Vatican said. The 88-year-old Pope, who remains conscious, received high flows of oxygen to help him breathe. He received blood transfusions after tests showed low counts of platelets, which are needed for clotting, the Vatican said in a late update. The Holy Father's condition continues to be critical. Therefore, as explained yesterday, which was Friday, the Pope is not out of danger, the statement said. It was the first time, quote, critical, unquote, had been used in a written statement to describe Francis's condition since he was hospitalized February the 14th. The statement also said that the pontiff continues to be alert and spent the day in an armchair, although in more pain than yesterday. Doctors declined to offer a prognosis, saying it was reserved. Doctors have said Francis's condition is touch and go, given his age, fragility, and pre-existing lung disease. Doctors warn of the possibility of possible onset of sepsis. They have warned that the main threat facing Francis would be the onset of sepsis, a serious infection of the blood that can occur as a complication of pneumonia. As of Friday, there was no evidence of any sepsis, and Francis was responding to the various drugs he is taking. The Pope's medical team said their first in-depth update on the Pope's condition. Saturday's blood test showed that he had developed a low platelet count, a condition called platelopenia or thrombocytopenia. Platelets are cell-like fragments that circulate in the blood that help the blood form blood clots to to stop bleeding or help wounds heal. Low platelet counts can be caused by a number of things, including side effects from medicines or infections, according to the U.S. National Institutes of Health. Francis, who has chronic lung disease and is prone to bronchitis in winter, was admitted to Gemelli Hospital on February 14th after a week-long bout of bronchitis worsened. Doctors first diagnosed the complex viral, bacterial, and fungal respiratory tract infection and then the onset of pneumonia in both lungs. They prescribed absolute rest and a combination of cortisone and antibiotics along with supplemental oxygen when he needs it. Saturday's update marked the first time the Vatican has referred to Francis suffering an asthmatic respiratory crisis of prolonged magnitude, which also required the application of oxygen at high flows. Now I saw another post by, and I couldn't find it when I went back to look for it, but it basically was saying that, well, let's say one of the, I don't know if it's a cardinal or a bishop in the U.S., I think it's from New York or somewhere, was came out and said that they are watching the Pope slowly pass away, something to that extent. Like he's dying, but they're trying to say he's not dying. So I don't know why they're trying to hide it, but it is what it is. So it says Dr. Sergio Alfieri, the head of medicine and surgery at Rome's Gemelli Hospital, said Friday the biggest threat facing Francis was that some of the germs that are currently located in the respiratory system pass into the bloodstream, causing sepsis. Sepsis can lead to organ failure and death. So sepsis, with his respiratory problems and his age, would really be difficult to get out of. Alfieri told a news conference Friday at Gemelli. The English say, quote, knock on wood, end quote. And so we say touch iron. I don't know what that means. Everyone touch what they want, he said as he tapped the microphone. But this is the real risk in these cases, that these germs pass to the bloodstream. Not one time did they say pray to the Most High for deliverance, for speedy recovery, for healing. No spoken scriptures on health and wellness. Touch iron. Knock on wood. Y'all better pay attention. He knows he's in danger, Alfieri added, and he told us to convey that. Vatican hierarchy tamps down speculations Francis might resign. Meanwhile, the Vatican hierarchy went on the defensive to tamp down rumors and speculation that Francis might decide to resign. Anyway, it don't matter if he resign or not. Okay, so let's here you go. White House is praying for the Pope. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said Saturday that President Donald Trump had been briefed on the Pope's condition and was working on his own statement that will be released later. We're praying for the Pope, Leavitt said. Leavitt is one of 3 administration officials who face a lawsuit from the Associated Press on First and Fifth Amendment grounds. The AP says Leavitt and 2 others are punishing the news agency for editorial decisions they oppose. The White House says the AP is not following an executive order to refer to the Gulf of Mexico as the Gulf of America. Deacons, meanwhile, were gathering at the Vatican for their special Holy Week weekend. Francis got sick at the start of the Vatican's Holy Year, the once every quarter century celebration of Catholicism. This weekend, Francis was supposed to have celebrated deacons, a ministry in the church that precedes ordination to the priesthood. In his place, the Holy Year organizer will celebrate Sunday's Mass, the Vatican said. And for the second consecutive weekend, Francis will skip his traditional Sunday noon blessing, which he could have delivered from Gemelli if he were up to it. Look, even though he's not physically here, we know he's here, said Luis Arnaldo Lopez Quirindongo, a deacon from Ponce, Puerto Rico, who was at the Vatican on Saturday for the Jubilee celebration. He's recovering, but he's in our hearts and is accompanying us because our prayers and his go together. Well, he ain't prayed, and his people ain't even prayed for him. They said knock on wood. I don't understand what's wrong with these people. So anyway, I want to share this story with y'all because it is very interesting, the timing of it. You're seeing all these different things that are happening in the spiritual realm. So I do not want y'all to sleep on those things. Keep in mind, we got a new moon coming up, and Passover is coming up, and there's a blood moon coming on March the 14th, which is a Sabbath, I think. And the significance of that, and I'm gonna find the scripture when I do this story, but uh, the Israelites were led out of Egypt on a blood moon. That was a sign from God. So I don't think that anything that is happening right now is accidental. I'm praying that the Most High just, removes us from this place, because you can just feel it is getting ready to be wild. You can feel a purge coming. You can feel the rug is getting ready to be pulled from under a lot of our people, and just people in general. You can sense that tyranny is on the horizon. Pharaoh is coming back. Pharaoh ain't never left, but Pharaoh is out for blood now, and they know that time is running out. People are waking up, and the whole world is basically pulling away from us because of this erratic behavior that this country is displaying. And I want y'all to keep in mind that this Project 2025 is by Christian nationalists. So if you can't see that Christianity and white supremacy go hand in hand, I don't know what to say for you. And I feel sorry for the black people, the Israelites, who voted for Trump, because they voted for their own demise. They too voted to harm other people. They chose to fight a battle using man instead of letting the Most High fight the battles and stay out of these people's politics and not vote for a king. So, as always, our people don't listen. No matter how much we're out here screaming, hey, mind your business, stay out of this, it's not our business. Our people still all up and through in it. And so now a lot of us are going to have to deal with the repercussions spiritually and physically, because our people just hard headed. So, this is just another reminder to pay attention to things that are happening in the spirit realm. Hopefully you are working on the Ruach and keeping watch and paying attention to what's going on, and trying to find like-minded people, which is so difficult to just make it through these difficult times. I'm 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 excited, but it's also just a little scary, because you see people getting ready to be homeless. You see people getting ready to be unemployed. People are going to deal with car repossessions. Landlords are not going to be able to get their rent. They're not going to be able to make their mortgage payments. And then guess who's going to come in and swoop up all these properties? And then they're going to let us go back to work, and we're going to be paying them perpetually rent, because they're not going to sell us anything. The goal is for you to own nothing and be happy, which is why I keep telling folks to become comfortable with being, you know, poor and not having nothing, and possibly being homeless, because that is where we are right now. Like, you see how white people are. The white people in power, they're not going to do nothing to stop this. The Republicans are sitting there just like they did when Obama was in office, arms folded, not, being obstructive. Now they're sitting with their hands crossed. And I don't know if they believe that people aren't going to be so desperate that they're going to reach out and touch them. But they're not planning on doing nothing. And so, this system been broke for a long time, but what is on full display is how white people are, how white people vote against their own interest, how hateful and evil they are, how selfish they are, how lazy they are, how they, love white supremacy until it harms them. When white supremacy harms them, then they don't like it no more. They don't recognize capitalism and white supremacy and Christianity as white supremacy. They see those things as something separate. Even politics. You look at democracy. Democracy is a white European idea. It don't work. It doesn't work. It never worked. And it always leads to the opposite of, you know, what their intentions are. So they want you to have a democratic society, but we're leading, moving towards an oligarchy or technocracy. And they just, I don't know, it's people just can't see, and it's unfortunate. But they taught people to not be able to see, and that's by design. So in any event, just pay attention to what's happening spiritually. I don't think it's by accident this stuff is happening. These portals were open before the election. Here you got the Pope about to go on to his maker. And then you have these evil people who don't believe in the Most High, and got these people deceived about who he is. It's crazy looking at this stuff and watching it play out. But man, I'm telling you, I'm just grateful that I have the eyes to see, and that hopefully you all that are watching also can see what's happening. I don't think the timing of everything is just phenomenal. Pay attention to this blood moon, what's going on. Pay attention to what's going on with the volcanoes in Italy. I think it's Italy, Greece. Anyway, the scientists are coming out against the international, I guess, volcano societies or earthquake societies, and saying things that are much worse than they're telling us, and that the people should have been evacuated. They should have had a better plan, but they don't. And so, whenever this thing erupts, it's going to be catastrophic. And I'm going to do another video on some of these natural disasters that are happening around the planet, that are coinciding with the planet alignment on February 28th, and the blood moon that's coming up in March, in the eclipse. So like this video, share it, and subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell notification so that you'll be notified each and every time I upload new content. Keep prepping, keep praying, keep seeking the Most High, and keep your eyes open, because a lot of stuff is happening, family. All right, this is Marley K, and I'm